let's install this liner. The liner itself, and straps, and some Velcro. I found this super easy to install. I think the first time it took me about 5 minutes, and now I think I could do it in 2 or 3. It's a great material, waterproof. You can use it for pets, but you can also use it for anything else you don't want to get all over your trunk if it spills. So the next item that was sent to us is called iPop. It's made by Topfit, and they are door guards. So you basically install these, stick these on the part of your door that sticks out the most. So to install it, you remove this red plastic and it just sticks right there. The problem is, with me, I care more about other cars hitting my door, and that isn't going to happen here. It can happen anywhere along the car. The reason I care more about that is that I don't hit other cars. If you're in a parking lot and you ever see this vehicle, park beside me, because I guarantee you I will not hit you. So for me, this is not useful. You know, I don't want to have something functional that's never going to be of use to me hanging off the side of my car when the coefficient of drag area has been minimized. You know, Tesla went to great lengths to minimize it because you have a fixed amount of energy in your battery, and the more streamlined the car is, the longer it can drive. Also, I'm absolutely not going to put this on my car because I have an XPEL Ultimate wrap. The whole car is wrapped in clear film. So if I were to put this on, and if something were to hit it or something, it could peel the wrap off, so I'm not going to do that. If you have kids that are continuously opening their door and hitting walls and hitting other cars, absolutely put this on. I would myself. They stick well to the car, so they're not going to come off, and so go for it. And I forgot to mention that these also come in white. So the next thing we're going to look at is the carbon fiber covers for the door buttons. So they go like this. You know, technically they stick out a little bit versus the rest of the side of the car. Yeah, well let's put them on temporarily and just see how we like them. So this is what they look like. Just the fact that there's sticky tack behind here, whatever you call it, they still don't stick out that much, which I was happy to see. I sort of pictured them sticking out a couple of more millimeters. And I think if this were flush against without the sticky tack in between, it would not even be noticeable at all, especially if it's stuck down at the corners there. So I think they look pretty good. If as I mentioned in the other video, if I had done a chrome delete, I think they might even look better, but they look good with the chrome. They're exactly what you think you're going to get. The next thing we are going to install and review is the 3D shadow light. So I hope you can see it here. It's a little lip on there. Actually, I think I can use this. This is one of those tools I got for the Blackview trim removal tool, I think it's called, for the Blackview dash cam installation. Okay, so that was easy to come out. Looks like there is just a simple connector here. Hope you can see it. Anyway, it is just like a little thing here you can push down. I'm guessing if I push that down, then I can pull out the connector. All right. So, all right. So these pins go into there, but they don't lock. That's a little bit disconcerting. So instead of the nice sort of positive lock mechanism here, this is going in, you push this guy in, and it doesn't come out. It locks in. But in this case, it is simply a, oh, okay, no, I take that back. All right, so let's not do that. It's interesting they put that little extension on it. Looks like we can just plug it right in like that. All right, that's where it's at. Okay, so this is it. Got power, and put it back in the same orientation. All right, it's not going back properly. Okay, right away there is a problem. I am trying to install this. I cannot get this in because, sorry, let's take this out for a second. Okay, so taking this back off. This is the original, low profile. Right? Here's this one in comparison. Much higher profile. Same clip mechanism here, so that's fine, but much higher profile. And this is hitting sort of something structural on the inside of the door there. So this is not good. Maybe it can go backwards. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it can go in backwards. It's probably not going to matter. My guess is, you know, this is a product of theirs. They would know by now if it didn't work. Okay. So hopefully we can see it here. Seems to work. It doesn't seem to be as bright. So it was having problems. It was sort of sticking down, one corner was, until I put in this thing. Until I put in this little extension cable, which I don't like actually because there's no positive locking here. It could just fall out. It's pretty tight actually, but you know, this could fall out, this could fall out. So we're going to put this back in. We're going to try it tonight. See how bright it is. We'll leave the other side not connected so that we can compare them and go from there. So the LED logo looks great at night, you know, when it's nice and dark. Of course, it's not as bright as the LED itself, but it's good. The problem is because of that interference, I had to mount it upside down, or rotate it 180 degrees, I guess more accurately. And this causes the logo to look upside down when you're getting into the car. so that's not ideal, and I confirmed that it's not a Model S versus Model X issue because it's the same part for both. So, we'll see what I end up doing, but that was a disappointment. Okay, so now we're moving on to the first of the two types of key fob covers sent to us. I actually had this Topfit silicone cover that I put on, last year, and the key fob still looks new. So I mean, it works perfectly. As far as getting it in, there's a hole back here. You just start pushing it through. So I mean, it goes on very easily, and as you saw, it does a perfect job of protecting it. I quite like it. Some people don't like this fin on the back. I don't mind it at all. Gives a little bit more flexibility here if you have other keys on it or whatever. So 2 thumbs up for sure. 5 stars for this thing. It is what it is. If you don't like the looks, then you're not going to like it. If you like the looks like I do, then you will. Okay, so we have another Topfit keychain to review. This one's a little different than the other ones, which were just silicone, which is great. They work well. I've actually been using this one for 9 months or something. Very happy with it. This one's a little different. It looks like it's machined aluminum, and it's got 2 screws here. So you undo these screws, you take it apart, you put your fob in, put it back together, tighten the screws. So we're gonna take this out of here, and we're gonna put it in the new keychain. See how it works. Nice. Comes with its own screwdriver. You may not be able to see that, but they even thought to put Loctite on the screws, so they won't come out as easily, which is nice. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. There's also these foam pieces, and they didn't mark where to go, and there's no instructions. So let's figure this out. Maybe on the 4 corners. Let's give that a try. Okay, hopefully that's it. Give this a shot. This is the bottom. Sort of locks in the front here, so I'm going to have to compress the foam a little bit, which is alright. Nope, looks good. Okay, you could just depress the trunk release with this. I'm not sure I like that much. On the other hand, it's not going to get inadvertently released, which is probably good. So let's put this on. Okay, so there it is. Pretty nice, actually. You can still see the Model X. This is it's a much nicer keychain, I think, than the silicone ones. But the silicone ones are really good. They fully protect the key fob, whereas this doesn't. This will protect it from any kind of impacts, if there are if say you have keys in your pocket or something, this will get scratched. So that is a drawback. Although this leather strap right now seems to hold the keys away from this. This is sort of cool looking, the ring, but Oh, I see. It's like a carabiner or whatever they call them. It says spring closed. So I guess you'd have yet another ring on here and then your keys. So that is what you're getting with this. It's like I said, it's well made. You might be wondering if there's like a cage around. Can you get your finger into where the the door release, etc. is? And yes, you can, because they give space around. I don't know if you can see that. They give space around the buttons. So they give maybe 1.5 millimeter leeway around the buttons, so you can kind of get your fingers in. I was thinking maybe the trunk. I normally hit the very back to open the trunk, but in fact you can reach it and it works. And the top and the front, the 2 falcon wing doors. Yeah, this might even help, and the silicone doesn't. So this is one reason this, not only does it look better, but it might be better functionality, and that is sometimes when the key fob's in my pocket, I inadvertently hit or squeeze the key fob, and that causes, and yeah, I have all the doors closed if you touch this, if you press this once. And so occasionally, for example, earlier today, my camera was in the way, and I was worried that it would depress, and so I moved the camera away. So anyway, I think I'm going to keep this key fob on for a while. It's pretty cool. Okay, here's a complicated installation. I'm being funny. I think it's as easy as this. And that's it. That's actually a really solid hook. That's fantastic, actually. I really like that. This is something that was really missing from the Model X. The important thing to say is it's a really, really strong hook. I'm surprised, actually. So there you go. That's it. You know what? Let's install the other side while we're here. Very complicated installation, as I said before. Okay, so there it is. Great. Okay, so here we're moving on to the aluminum brake and accelerator pedal covers. One thing I thought would be helpful is to say that you should disable the automatic doors. So what you want to do is make it so that when you press the brake, the door doesn't shut on your back as you're trying to install these covers. You got 3 sides. I don't think I got them all now. Maybe. Okay, that one's on. Okay, here. So this one was a cover. This one isn't. This one's just the metal. Interesting. Okay. Done. So here's a quick before and after. In my opinion, it's a night and day difference. I love them, and I think they're a fantastic deal. The next thing we're going to look at is this, what Topfit calls top protective. So what this is it's got sticker on the back, so you pull that off, and you put it there. And there's already a recess for something to go in here, and nothing's there. It sort of matches the carbon fiber more or less. It's a little bit it's a tiny bit bigger grain size, and it's more glossy than the rest of the carbon fiber, so it doesn't perfectly match. So that's it. Okay, we are installing the wireless charging tray. I don't know if you can see it from back there actually, but looks like it just sits in there. And I was right about it sitting on top of the lip. These lips allowing it to sit on top of where the cup holder is. So you can have the cup holders in there and this. So that's good. So what I'd like to do is be able to feed this up. You know, none of these things come with instructions, but I mean, they're fairly simple. So, notwithstanding the problems I just had with that light. But, okay, so let's see if we can just put that thing up. And then, okay, so there, feed it through the bottom. Pretty easy. I mean, it's not like you have to do it every time you get in the car. Okay, so here, see how there's there are two USB ports. One of them powers the existing iPhone charger, if you can see that here. And so it's a cable that just comes down here and then back up, which I could use to route this other thing. I pull this out, that's what I'll do. And then, so here's the 12-volt receptacle, and I don't really want to use that because it's going to stick out more. But let's try that to begin with. It could be a charging current thing. The 12 might allow, 2.1 amps or whatever the highest charging current is for the iPhone. Whereas maybe the other doesn't. Okay, so I wasn't happy with the how the cable was coming through. So I noticed you could take this out. Okay, so that's just a rubber piece that covers where the iPhone charge connector and then the USB connector on the other end come through here. Looks like there might be room for another there is room for another cable here, which is nice. So I'm hoping I can feed this guy through. Magnet here. Yep, there it is. Okay. All right. That'd be nice if that works. Through here. Something like that. I'm hoping that this will just go on top of here like that. Need to detail this car soon. There we go. All right, well that's a lot nicer, right? And then I can just plug into this guy like so, right? Or if I want to unplug the iPhone one, so it's still unobtrusive. So there it is. Okay, So this one is super easy to install. You recall we saw this before. Maybe a little better light here. You can sort of see the velvet inside. It's as simple as, there it is. So that's what it looks like. And you just throw your glasses or change or whatever in there. It doesn't stay in. There's no sort of lip or anything that makes it not sort of fall out, but it does sort of have a, does feel like it locks sort of when you put it in. So I mean, it's not the highest of tolerance items, but it's very functional. I actually really like this. I'm definitely going to keep this in here. Okay, the last item we're going to look at are these door sill stickers. So we have one for the back, or well, two for the back obviously, and for the front. I looked at these for a few minutes, and all the other accents on the car, or the advertisements on the car that say Model X, it's always shiny black on matte black. And it's nice and subtle. This is a little more overt than I want. I usually like the understated. So I am not going to put these on. But give me your comments. Tell me if you disagree. And I look forward to reading them.